Hola familia, welcome back to the Chisme with Cari and Jess.
Hola.
We're so excited to be back. We're in a whole new month. We're all the way in March now. It has been a little crazy and hectic with work and stuff. So we apologize for the delay on this filming situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming back.
Yeah,
We
thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're in the process of figuring out our whole new recording setup. So forgive us for the changes while we adjust to this new situation. But let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Welcome to March and spring. So you went to Mexico.
Yeah.
And you what did you go for? What was the
purpose
of
purpose of the trip? So the purpose of the trip was to go to visit my grandparents, my grandma in particular, that she's been sick for a couple of years now. Both of them have been sick for a couple of years, and on and off. A couple years ago, my grandpa was super sick, and we all thought that he wasn't going to make it, but he pulled through. And now for the last maybe 2 years, it's been my grandma. And it's just been like a little roller coaster. She goes through her phases, with health. She gets better, and then she kind of just goes down, and then she gets better, and then again. Last year, the really pivotal moment of her health kind of took a twist because she fell down, broke her hip, and she's at the age where they can't have surgery on her anymore. They can't operate. And then she's also diabetic, which doesn't help. And she's older, so just the age, it's a combination of things. It just doesn't help.
Yeah.
So my brother suggested for us to just kind of take like a 2-day trip. It was a very quick trip.
Yeah.
And it was just solely for the purpose of just going to visit her and just kind of, spending time with them, quality time with them. It was a very different trip.
So who went?
Myself, my brother, mom, and dad.
Aww.
Yeah, it was just us four.
Fun.
It was just us four. And it was a very different trip because normally when we go down there, it's to party. It's to las fiestas. O que esto, y que lo otro, una quinceañera.
Ajá, a wedding, yeah.
Pero esta vez it was very, very different. It was just to go spend time with grandma and grandpa.
Yeah.
And I learned it was a very special trip because I feel like never have I ever taken the time to really ask those like life, like those deep life questions, like when you were young or when this or when that. And this trip had a lot of small moments like that with my grandma and grandpa, with an aunt of mine, and with my mom.
Yeah.
So it was a very like special trip.
Sentimental.
Yeah. Very, very sentimental.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So
what part of Mexico did you go to?
To Jalisco, to Guadalajara. Yeah.
Yeah. My parents are also from Jalisco.
Tapatías. So con este viaje, it was very different again, like I've mentioned many, many times already. I think the first day that we were there, my dad was asking my grandpa questions like, do you remember when you met? Because my grandma's name is Josefina. Okay. So he was like, do you remember meeting Josefina? And then my grandpa's super funny and he would like joke about it. And I remember we were sitting down in La Plaza and it was my brother, my grandma, my mom, and myself, and then my grandpa and my dad. And I look over to my grandma and I ask her, I was like, in Spanish, obviously. And I ask her, like, abuelita, like, actually, I don't call her abuelita. I call her host. We call her mi host, like host. Everyone calls her host. Yeah, by her first name.
Wow.
Like, so no one calls her abuelita.
Nothing.
No one. Wow. So it's like, oiga host, like that's how we call her.
Yeah.
And it's not like a disrespectful way.
So when you were a little kid, you would call her that too?
Like mi host. Mi host. Or when we would talk to her, like, host, le habla mi mamá, like that.
Wow.
So it was like
so she's your mom's mom.
My mom's mom, yeah. And So I asked her, and let me back up. This trip really put a lot of those like feelings of being prideful of where we come from and remembering like where our roots are from.
Yeah.
And just kind of like humbling you a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it just really makes you appreciate all the sacrifices that our parents had to go through to give us a better life.
Yeah.
For themselves and for obviously for us.
Yeah.
Right. And so one of the questions that I asked my grandma was if she remembered when my mom left
to the United States.
Yeah, when she left Mexico to come over to the U.S. And my mom, so my grandma didn't really remember much because it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And
how old was your mom?
So my mom, I didn't know this, but my mom left at 15. My mom left Mexico at 15 years old. So I think the day or like maybe a couple of days after she turned 15, se fue.
By herself?
Yeah.
Like my son. That's crazy.
Solita se vino. And
who was on this side?
Her sister and her brother-in-law. So my aunt and my
kids these days, man, they would never know what our parents had to go through.
And so when she left, she didn't come over with the purpose of going with my tia. Like she was supposed to go somewhere else. But anyways, so I asked, so my grandma didn't remember much. And my mom started telling me like, yo me fui because I wanted a stereo that I knew it was so expensive here in Mexico. Yeah, I was like, a stereo? She goes, yeah, I wanted like a really big stereo. And that was my goal. That was why I left Mexico. I was like, what?
Those things are awesome though.
Yeah, so it was a stereo que ella quería, so por eso se fue. Pero, without going too into detail of like her story and her like crossing borders and whatnot, listening to her and what she went through to get here, and now once she got here, her reasons why she came over changed. It was no longer the stereo, obviamente, right? It was about, like helping out my grandma and grandpa and like working obviously for herself and to, send money back home, like to be able to financially help her parents, right?
Yeah.
It really resonated with me because it just, I don't think she's ever really told me that story before. And it really put things in perspective for me. And it just made me feel so appreciative of my parents and their journey to come over to this country.
Right. To make us first generation.
Yes. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. That was just like kind of like an awakening with everything. And like your parents también igual, like they did the same. Yeah. Right? They did the same.
Over first generation. Yeah, they crossed and for the purpose. Well, I think my parents.
Your mic girl.
My mic.
Her mic was like down here.
My mom was actually 4 or 5. She was a lot smaller.
She was young.
Yeah. And my dad was like a teenager. He was like 16, I believe, and he actually crossed in an engine, inside of the engine of a truck.
Are you serious?
Like he was skinny, like David. He could. And he said that they took out a few things of the truck and he went inside there. I'm like,
that is crazy.
You could have died. Like back then they weren't so strict, right? So they weren't thinking like a human being is going to get in the engine of a car.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the things that they had to go through to give us this opportunity. And girl, I love Mexico, but I don't want to, right now, especially like, with the situation that's going on, it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough. The opportunities aren't just there, like to make money as easily, if you're born in a certain class, like to get up from that class is hard.
Like the rich are rich. They're riching.
Yeah,
they're rich and like they live very extravagant.
There's like no middle class.
Nope. There's no middle
There's
class.
no middle class.
Nope,
like,
not at all.
You can't go from rags to riches there the way you can here in the United States. So the fact that I don't think people quite understand the opportunity that we've been given to chase the American dream.
Correct.
You know?
Yeah. I know we're super fortunate and blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
crazy. So you recorded a video while you were down there.
Let's talk about the video,
which is insane.
Let's talk about that video.
So in this video, you were like, proudly showing that your parents, all the hard work that it took them, is finally paid off.
Yeah.
They built a retirement home for themselves.
They did.
Because obviously money over there goes way further than here, right? Yeah. Like, we're real estate agents, obviously, so we know, like, the market is just insane, right? Houses aren't what they used to be. When our parents bought their house, they were like 200 and below, right? Yeah. I think my parents' first house cost them like $79,000. Yeah. And they, 79,000. Yep. And that house now is probably like 500,000.
Yep, absolutely.
And it's a whole different life. It's not retiring here. We live in California. It's just not the same.
It's not
the same. Like, it's not fair. I mean, as wonderful as, being in the United States is, the system is broken in a lot of ways too, right? We have to also admit that. And so when you do get to the age where you're not contributing the way you do, life is a lot harder for, to retire.
Yeah.
It's not as fair. Like, sadly, after a certain age, you just kind of get put on the side. And, the United States doesn't quite take care of the people who work so hard to pay their taxes.
Yeah. I think we could all feel it this year for sure, definitely, with everything.
Yeah.
But
so you posted this video that you made proud, like, oh, this is what my parents made. Just this little video.
It was, I think it's what, like 10, maybe a short 10-second clip. Video. Yeah. So let me take you through the whole. So obviously we're real estate agents, and I had posted on my Instagram, like, who wants a real estate like video tour, Mexico edition.
Right.
Okay. And a lot of people responded like, yes. So I recorded the video. I think the first day that we got there, like that day que llegamos, lo grabé, and because I got a lot of footage of the home, like the front, the rooms, kitchen, back, everything. And I didn't post anything. I think I posted that video maybe 3 days after we got back from the trip.
Yeah.
And
because I didn't even know about it. It didn't even come up on my feed. So I didn't even know till you told me, like, dude, look what's happening.
It blew up. It totally went viral. I didn't post anything. So originally how I was going to post it was going to be a video tour of the home. Okay. Once we had these conversations with grandpa, grandma, mom, and dad and everything just switched. So when we got there, so again, my parents built their retirement home in Mexico. I think it's been completed for about 3 years now, maybe 4, something like that. They customized it. They did it their style, to their liking. I posted the video, and on the video, it just says like, point of view, me being so proud of mom and dad for building out their retirement home, right? It blew up. I think right now I'm almost at like 900 views, something like that. 900,000 views, and I don't know, like 60,000 likes, and all kinds of comments. But the amount of comments that I got about the video,
and people you don't even know,
people I don't know, they were mostly positive. I think it's maybe about 80% of the comments, maybe 90% of the comments are positive. Like, this makes me so happy,
right.
Que nuestra gente, that your parents did this, like, felicidades a ellos. Almost 90% of it is positive.
Yeah.
The other 10 of it is very, very, very hateful. And what is very surprising to me is the fact that a couple of those comments came from Mexican people.
Wow.
Yeah. There was one guy who he pretty much, I think he was the one who
He pretty much
made the video. It was his comment.
He ignited it.
Yep, it was his comment that pretty much made the video.
It blew up because of him.
Thanks
to that guy.
Yeah, thanks to that guy. I can't even remember his freaking name, pero él básicamente puso something along the line, very sarcastic, like congratulations to them. I hope they vote. He made it very political. I hope they vote Republican.
Yeah.
And I hope they enjoy their house or something like that, or else we're soon gonna lose everything, all of us. Algo así, like something like that.
Yeah.
And after his comment, everyone just started kind of like commenting after him because he was the one who brought like politics into it. And after that, he just kind of went off, like he made it seem.
Did he continue commenting?
He continued. Yeah, he went back.
Continued to engage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there was another lady, a Karen, who pretty
much. She a Mexican Karen?
No, I think she was a Karen.
Oh, she's the OG.
Yeah, she's an OG Karen. She commented and said,
"Get the real tea."
Yeah, let me.
I think I went through them too, but there were many.
There was just so many. And I won't say her name.
At first you started to like respond like, "Oh, thank you," and then it just
it was just too much. Yeah, I did respond to some of the negative comments, but I didn't get like bothered by it. I was just like, I wanted to understand their point of view, like their thought process, like behind their comments.
Yeah.
So when I responded, it was more like that. So this one lady commented on the video and said, "So moral of the story is live in the USA, pretend you're poor, work, then send all the goods to Mexico. Same old story from all of you." And
how do you pretend you're poor by doing that?
And I'm like, so I was very confused because I was like, when did I say they were poor? When did I say that my parents were poor? I don't know. I mean, yes, they left Mexico because of the poverty when they were much younger. Mm-hmm. But this is about me being proud of them for them building out, starting from scratch in another country from zero, mm-hmm. doing what they did. They own property in the U.S. Yeah. They, their hard-earned money, and they sent it to Mexico to build out their retirement home. And, then this negativity comes along.
Negative Nancy.
It just doesn't make sense to me. And a lot of them assume that my parents are illegal for some reason. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ignorant people.
Yeah, they just assume like what I think some other people commented like, why leave and then go back?
This is what I hate about the internet. Mm-hmm. This is the part that I really hate. Like, mm-hmm. I just want a blanket statement. Like, first of all, what is it to you?
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, you care so much to have, first of all, you made an assumption based on like a 10-second video.
Yeah. I don't think it's even 10 seconds.
No, it's a short one. Yeah, I think it's the shortest video you've ever made.
It's like 8 seconds, maybe. Yeah.
Like, what is it to you? Like, how do you make all these assumptions based on very little information? Like, why is it so hard for people to just see something and just scroll?
Yeah.
Like, mm-hmm. you wasted all this energy. Like, are you that miserable in life that, mm-hmm. like, you're just, like, quick to think and assume and, like, and even so, it's like, who cares? How does this change your life?
How does this affect you?
In any way?
Yeah. Well, that's what I was kind of tripping on. Like, why?
You know how many times I've seen people on the internet and they just piss me off? And then I just scroll. It's so easy. It's so easy. Like, they have something mm-hmm. or they say something that I feel very strongly about opposite.
Yeah.
And then I just keep going.
Well, what's really interesting too is just like, okay, I guess let's kind of slow it down because I get it. Most people, especially here in California or in like our neighboring states, Arizona, Texas, mm-hmm. because we're so close to Mexico, mm-hmm. it is the country that they most, they say like, oh, Mexicans is Mexican that. I get it. We're neighbors. We're neighboring. Yeah. It's a neighboring country.
And not everybody. Not everybody. Yeah. Some Karens.
But let's remember, like, there's immigrants from all over
there's
from
a
all over
lot
the world.
of different, especially in real estate. I have a lot of Indians. There's a ton of different.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a melting pot.
Yeah.
It's a melting
pot. And
I
mean, like, our country was created and built on these immigrants, right? Because cheap labor, and we take what we could get just to put food on the table, and
obviously the immigrant process back then wasn't as tough as it is now.
Yeah.
Like our parents, they're obviously US citizens now. They came, they worked, they applied, and they got their residency.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And then that's another thing.
So our parents are legal.
That's another thing. People on the internet just assume that they're illegal.
Yeah.
And that that they're here doing God knows what to make money, or I don't know, but they don't realize that we bust our butts.
Yeah.
They've busted their butts to really build what they have now.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things that us as Americans haven't been able to do, because, obviously times are a lot tougher now. Them coming from another country. I think that if the situation was, if you put them in the economy that we are now, it probably would have been tougher for them.
So much tougher.
Right?
So much tougher. Yeah. It is tough, and we are from here, and it's tough. But it's so admirable. I always talk to my dad about this, because my dad, like your parents, also has his own business, and he didn't know the language.
Yeah.
Like, I struggle, and not in the same ways, right? But just like your mind feeds you all these lies and things that get in the way of why you are going to fail in your business and all this stuff. But they had everything and every reason to just want to quit. But the drive, their reason why was so much stronger than ours, because we know that one way or another we're going to make it because we are American.
Right.
And they had more of a fight and fire because they had nothing to lose and everything to gain. And like not knowing the language, being outcasted by, other people here. It's so admirable how far they've gone in life. And it makes you so proud.
It makes me super proud.
Like, wow. And like my dad, I always tell him, like, tell me your story again. Because I love hearing like he made it. And when I feel like defeated or like discouraged or whatever, and I hear him, I'm like, I have no excuses, because he's like, all his clients don't speak Spanish. All of his clients speak English. And he used to take my mom to interpret him. Because my mom was here since she was 3, so she knows really English very well. Yeah. So, and my dad, he's like, a mí no me importa. Like, I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dang, he just did not care.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure he came upon Karens back in the day.
Oh, I mean,
they've always existed, right? But it's just, it's so admirable to look at our parents and be like, dang.
Like, you did that.
They did that, and there was no obstacle great enough to discourage them from doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. How can someone else knock that down? How can they try to just like belittle them and not, we're not saying praise them.
Give credit where it's due, though.
Or I'm not saying like, you have to praise them or congratulate them or anything like that, but why do you have the need to make them feel less for who they are or what they went through or what they've built in another country that's completely foreign to them?
Yeah.
Like you said, not knowing the language, not knowing the culture, not knowing anyone in some cases, for that matter. Like, people come not knowing a single soul in the US, right?
Yeah.
And it just, like you said, it just makes you feel so proud, because I simply just posted that video because I did feel proud. I did feel a sense of like,
un orgullo.
Yeah. I really did. Like, as I was making that video, and I typed out this whole like letter to them, and when I posted that video, and I like even screenshotted it to them, and I told them that like I was so proud of them.
Did they know it blew up?
Yeah, they did. I did tell them.
Are they on the socials?
I don't think Instagram, but I think on Facebook.
El
Facebook.
Yeah,
and Facebook. So yeah, I wrote this letter to them, and I was crying as I was
Yeah.
As I was typing that out, because it just makes you feel so like, man, if it wasn't for them, what would have been of me?
Yeah.
What kind of life would I've had now?
Yeah.
And growing up, if I would have been born somewhere else,
there,
right?
Yeah.
And not just that, like I have kids, you have kids. Yeah. What would have their life been?
What kind of life were they gonna have, or the possibilities that they were gonna have? And if you think about it, let's go back to the Karens. If you think way back to even when their people came, they have a lineage not so close to when they came, but at one point their family members came too.
Yeah.
Because there was Native Americans here.
Native Americans here, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So everybody at one point was first generation.
Of course.
We're just closer to that point where our family came here. So it's funny because we should all be so welcoming to and encouraging to anybody who wants to make it in this world, because this is the land of opportunities.
Yeah.
We're all equal opportunity. We should be equal opportunity here. Like, everybody can make a better life for themselves. Yeah. Is it easy? No matter what point in time, because obviously our kids, I don't know how they're going to buy a house, but they're going to have to fight their way to get there. You know what I'm saying? So at any point in time, it's tough, right?
Yeah.
But it's admirable that they did it.
Yeah.
And we are now the byproduct of that. And you know, they had very little knowledge. I actually have a Chinese client right now, and her husband and her husband, her two boys, and the grandma.
Okay.
And she barely speaks any English, like maybe 20% English. We use this app called WeChat.
Okay.
And to translate everything, right? So I got her as a client, and her son actually goes to UC San Diego.
Okay.
And he came when he was like 16 years old to go to high school. First he went in, like, I think they said Tennessee or Montana or somewhere, I don't know. And so he's been separated from his family to have a better life, to have education over here. And then 8 months ago, she came here with her youngest son, who's 8 years old, and all by herself. She doesn't know anybody. She doesn't have any friends. And she just started learning how to drive, the laws of the land. Like,
that's tough.
And she was telling me, and I could see the hurt in her face. Like, she's had to be so strong.
Yeah.
And leave her family over there. Her husband came to visit. That's when I met him. But he just went back this Sunday, and I felt so sad for her. Like, she's like, I don't have any friends. And I was like, oh, I'll be your friend. But, I mean, it's different because we don't understand the culture. So it's not as, like, it doesn't feel like home yet to her, you know? And it was just so heartbreaking. And I thought to myself, like, wow, there's still people today experiencing this very same thing that we're experiencing there. And people are not nice. Why are we so mean to people just trying to get ahead in life? Like, this is a great opportunity for anybody. It's like such a great opportunity for people. Why are we haters?
Yeah.
Why is there so much like hate?
Everyone just has so much to say. Like, they just have to have an opinion.
Oh my god.
Like, whatever happened to, like, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that?
It's gone out the door. And, like, social media made it legal for everybody to be a big jerk.
Yeah. I mean, they took the free speech, freedom of speech, literally. Like literally.
So much freedom.
Literally. You know? And it's like, dang, man.
Yeah, like, just like, you're not going to die if you don't say it.
Just don't say it.
Imagine if you don't type it, nothing is going to happen.
like, can you, close your eyes and just, like, imagine this situation. Like,
do I close my eyes?
Close it. And, like, for real, put yourself, let's just pretend, you know, our families come from Mexico, right? Even though we have family in Mexico,
right?
We don't know the rules and all this stuff that they kind of
even when we just go to TJ, I feel nervous. Right.
Okay, so now imagine you having to leave this country that you're familiar with, that your friends are in, And now imagine having to leave everything behind.
Yeah.
Having to go look for a place to live, having to go look for work. Because we speak Spanish, but we don't speak that level of Spanish, right? Like there's words that you're like, whoa, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And imagine having to look for a place to live. So housing, a job, having to learn like the culture out down there.
Yeah.
Because even though we are Mexican,
the laws, the rules.
Exactly.
Get a driver's license. Take a test in a language you're not familiar with.
Mm-hmm. So now, imagine doing all that. Okay, now it could be either when you're young, at our age right now, or even when we're older, and having to deal with that is hard enough. Now imagine having someone kind of like with their hand on your neck, just trying to keep you and push you down, because this is what a lot of people who come here experience.
Yeah.
They have to experience like discrimination, the battles of just everything, the housing, the finding work.
You're already discouraged in just the circumstantial.
Yeah.
And then people, it's like, what is it to you? Are you not going to have a job if I get a job? Are you not going to have a house if I get a house? Are you not going to be? It's like you don't take from one mouth to feed to another.
Yeah, exactly.
They act like we're taking from them.
Yeah.
The opportunities are endless. You know how many millions of dollars exist on this world right now?
Oh, yeah.
There's never been more money than ever. And the possibilities are so endless.
Yeah.
And we have the most selfish people waiting around no, like as if they hold the money in their hand and they have to share it.
What kills me the most is when you knock down your own people. That is
you know what? It almost feels like they're the biggest haters.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to be like, are you okay?
Like, what? You realize that you have a big nopal in your face. Like, do you like?
And they usually look more Mexican with their comments. I'm like, what happened to you when you were a kid to hate your own people so much? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm proud to be American. I'm proud to be Mexican.
Yes.
But I'm not hating on anybody on either side.
Yeah.
How you got here, if you're first generation, second generation, like, why?
Yeah.
Why? And then the fact that he felt the need, I'm assuming it's a guy, to put it on this thing.
So, for example, in this Mexico trip, one of my cousins who is here in the U.S., I had heard, he's like our age. Yeah, he's our age. And I had heard that he was also building his like retirement home in Mexico. And I just never seen it because this was like a recent thing. I think maybe within the last like year or two, he started building.
Yeah.
And so when we were over there, I asked my dad and my mom, like, hey, like, vamos a pasar por la casa de, fulanito, like, because I want to see it. So we went and I saw it and I felt so proud and so happy for him. You know, like, I was so excited that
That's crazy, like, at our age, already building your retirement home.
Exactly. And yo, like, seen envidia, seen, like nothing malicious. I wanted to kind of just let him know, like, hey, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. Like, I see what you're doing. All your hard work.
See
you, boo-boo.
I see you.
All your hard work and efforts are paying off because, well, your house is coming out great. And like, I literally just recorded like maybe less than a minute of a video and I sent it to him like via Instagram. And I told him in the message, like, primo, like, muchas felicidades, like, me da mucho orgullo or something like that. Algo así le puse. And I put, like, it's looking great, like, good job. We have a visitor, guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
My dog is here.
Come on. Hi, come on. Jump. Let's go. Come on. PETA, don't come after her for pulling his hair.
That's how their moms grab.
So se lo mandé y, él me respondió, like, he responded back and he was just like, oh, like, thank you so much. And, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Then come to find out, silent haters again within our own family.
But what did you do?
I have no idea what I did wrong. Apparently, some of the cousins who live with him, and if they're watching, you know who you are. You know what you said. I'm not sorry for saying this. I'm not calling you out with your name, but you know who you are. I'm not saying anything wrong, and right. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong.
You literally were like, "Oh, look, video! I'm so proud of you."
I'm very proud of him. Very happy that he's doing this, and apparently they just didn't like the fact that I sent him the video or that I went in the house without his permission or something like that. But when we went,
haters are gonna find whatever way
cualquier cosa nomás por estar chingando. Like, no tienen vida. Like, dude, we can send, man. Like, y no entramos sin permiso. The workers were there and we asked, like, can we come in? Like, if you say no, it's totally fine. I could just look at it from the windows, from the outside.
Right.
Cool. But no, they're like, no, come on in. Like, it's fine. We were being supervised, you know? Yeah. Not that we were going to do anything.
Yeah, like, what the heck were you going to do?
Yeah. And pues aparentemente, like, that was a big no-no. Like, they just didn't think that was right, que entramos a la casa sin que él estuviera allí o no sé qué tanto. Again, nomás una excusa. Petty. Cualquier excusa nomás por estar chingando. You know? And it's just like, why? Yeah. No entiendo. I don't understand. And it's just like, dude, instead of being happy for your cousin as well, that he's building his own house, and, you know, instead of saying something so negative, why don't you use that energy that you're using to say something positive? Like, oh, I'm so glad that, you know, our prima Karina went and saw your house. Like, you know, that's good. She checked up on it. Yeah. Pero I'm saying, like, esa energía que están usando.
It takes energy to be a big hater.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
It really does. Like, just get over it, dude. Like,
it takes so much to be miserable.
Mm-hmm. Believe me, it doesn't bother me. Like, I give two shits, like, what they have to say. I really don't. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But it's just like, what? Really? Wow. Okay.
Like, you made something out of nothing.
Yeah. Exactamente.
Nothing. Like, there was nothing. You had to literally go and dig and look for something to be upset about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, like, and always, siempre, it's like your own family. It's like the worst, because you know when they don't like your stories, you know when they don't, you know, like your videos or anything like that, something that you post. It takes just as much effort to not like something than to just like it, because you're already seeing it. What is this gonna do? Like, literally, like, and it's so obvious. And they say that silence sometimes it speaks even volumes, like more volumes than actually saying something.
Yeah, it does.
You know,
silent it screams.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know who you guys are. I know who you are. I just don't say anything because it's not.
Always the biggest fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But anyways, you guys, so moral of the story, don't knock people down for their efforts, for their successes, for creating growth. Something out of nothing, for their growth.
Yeah.
And if you really do have nothing nice to say to them, just don't say anything at all. People hide behind the computers. It's so easy to judge. It's so easy to comment.
Keyboard haters.
Oh my! It's so easy to just like
But they would never say it to your face.
Never. Absolutely never. Mm-mm. Never.
No.
They probably don't even leave their rooms. But it's just so easy to just, make a comment, a negative comment on someone else's video.
My golden rule, well, it's not mine, it's in the Bible, but the golden rule I live by is, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
Mm-hmm.
I've always talked about this. It's like, I tell everybody, it's so simple. Treat others the way you wanted to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And if you can't, then remove yourself.
Yeah.
Remove yourself.
Delete.
Delete yourself.
Delete yourself.
Take yourself up and take yourself out of the equation.
And what?
Just get out. Get out, haters. I'm just kidding.
Anyways, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thanks for your support. And don't forget to hit that like button.
And if you watch and you don't, you're a hater by association.
Anyways, no, thank you guys. Seriously. Yeah. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.